Welcome to my review of The Mandalorian Season 2 finale. Now, as always, there are spoilers in this review. I warn you in advance. Watch the episode before watching this review. There is a lot to talk about, my friends. So without wasting any more time, let's talk about it. Mando and his team plan the final rescue of the child from Moff Gideon's grasp alongside with fellow allies Bo-Katan and Casca Reeves. Now, this episode, again, is filled with important spoilers, so go watch the episode. And if you're new here, please consider clicking the subscribe button, because it helps me out, it helps the channel. The possibilities are endless. You might get cookies. It's just awesome, man. And I have merch on sale on TeePublic and Redbubble.com. The links are in the description. Let's talk Mandalorian, my friends. The Rescue is here, directed by Peyton. I was afraid, and I was proven wrong. And I am so happy. He directed the crap out of this episode. The right tone, great action, beautiful resonant character moments. We're going to get to all that. But first and foremost, Mando goes to Bo-Katan and Casca Reeves. Sasha Banks is back, my friends. And they have a little scuffle with Boba Fett because he's not a Mandalorian, so she doesn't like him. And he has this little fight with Casca Reeves, and she holds her own. I would say they're on par with each other. I think the advantage of that goes to show that Mandalorians are not to be trifled with, and Boba Fett is great. He is really great, but he's not a Mandalorian. So I really like how they establish how Mandalorians in general are lethal, tenacious fighters. And Bo-Katan, after learning that the child not only has been taken, but has been taken by Moff Gideon, she immediately joins in. They hatch a plan to get inside his Star Destroyer. They get this shuttle from the Empire with a doctor inside it. He's the only one to survive. He gives them the information. So they go inside a team comprised of Cara Dune, Fennec, Casca, and Bo. As Mando, after that, goes and tries to get the child directly as they create this distraction throughout. But on his way to Grogu's cell, Mando stumbles upon the Dark Troopers' chamber, and one of them gets out before he can close the door, and he's got his hands full. This is an incredible fight because I love how the Mandalorian treats its foes, its adversaries, as monsters, and this really came across as a monster. Mando had to waste the whistling birds on this thing, and it did nothing. This thing at one point just has Mando by his throat and keeps on punching him into the wall, and Mando even putting him on fire, it doesn't work. His last hope, his only hope, is the Beskar Spear, which finally gets the job done, and he throws the rest of the Dark Troopers out into space. But they're robots. They're not humans, so we'll talk about them again in a little bit. And as Mando gets to the cell, Moff Gideon is already there. He's got the Darksaber hanging over Grogu's head, and they have this really diplomatic conversation. Moff just wants the blood. He's got it, so he can take the child. Mando doesn't want the Darksaber, as Moff Gideon assumed he did. So he's like, okay, take the child. I see your bond with him. Go ahead. As Mando goes and picks up the child, of course, it's a trap, it's a ruse, and they start fighting, and Giancarlo, man, wow, he's going at it, and again, really well shot action. Mando finally gets the best of him, but spares his life because Bo-Katan wants Moff Gideon. But as he goes and meets Bo-Katan and the others who have taken care of everyone in the ship, Moff Gideon starts grinning because he knows the Darksaber must be won in combat, and he really goes into that. The show really goes into the lore. How does one win the lightsaber? So now more questions are raised about how did he win the lightsaber, or do only Mandalorians care to win the Darksaber in battle, and he just stole it. Mando says he doesn't want it. Mando says he yields to Bo-Katan, but she doesn't want to win it that way. She needs to win it in battle. But as tensions start to rise within the team, as Moff Gideon starts to grin and just says, oh, you're all gonna kill each other, the Dark Troopers come back because they're not human. They don't need to breathe, so they survive out there in space, and now they're just trapped. And again, they really come across as monsters. They're closing in on our heroes. It's a whole band of them, like 10 or 12, and the tension is rising yet again. The suspense is building. And oh my god, there's this quick shot of Grogu as Mando puts him down and starts to discuss with Bo-Katan that he wants to give her the Darksaber and whatnot. Grogu is just looking into nothing. And I'm like, is he sad? He looks like he's concentrating. It didn't even click with me at the time. But a hooded figure with a lightsaber comes in on an X-Wing. And I should have known! I should have known, my friends, because this figure, even though we're seeing it through the screen, so there's no color, we just see a lightsaber, and I'm like, oh yeah, cool, Ahsoka is here. They're bringing her back, because of course there's a new show with Ahsoka coming on, so of course we're gonna bring her back. It's Luke motherfucking Skywalker. My god, he just schools the Dark Troopers. He doesn't even flinch. There's even moments you can see that he cuts one Dark Trooper down, and one of the other Dark Troopers is just like, what the fuck? And then it just dies immediately after. Luke finally gets in, and they reveal his face, and they're using the de-aging they use in the Marvel movies. It looks great. Now, the voice to sound coming out of his mouth coordination is a little bit off. The mouth moving and the sound is not all there, and sometimes when he looks to the side or down, it kind of looks weird. I'll tell you what, I don't give a shit. Luke motherfucking Skywalker was here, he's schooled, and now he's taking Grogu away. I gotta tell you, I watched the episode like a half an hour ago because I was literally crying of emotional happiness as Luke came in, as I realized it was Luke, and then they show his face, and I was like, oh my god, it's Luke Skywalker. But then I started crying out of sadness because he is taking Grogu away. And as Mando picks Grogu up to give him to Luke, he takes his mask off. He takes his helmet off in front of everyone. He doesn't even care. It's such a beautiful moment. Pedro Pascal playing this emotional wreck that he is at the moment so beautifully well. I love the progression of their bond. Everyone talks about their bond throughout the season, but it's more important how we've been seeing it grow from the very first shot of this season as he walks into that village with Grogu by his side, a very similar shot to the first season where he was alone. And I love this farewell moment, even though I hope it's not a farewell moment. I hope they bring Grogu back. They cannot take him out of the show, goddammit. And R2 is also there. It's a really cute moment where he starts to communicate with Grogu, and you're not sure if they understand each other because he's speaking droid, he's speaking gibberish, he's cooing, basically. And then there's this tracking shot of Luke with Baby Yoda in his lap, and Baby Yoda is looking back at Mando and everyone else, and the show just closes like that. My heart is filled, but it's breaking at the same time. I'm very, very conflicted. It's a good type of conflicted. It means the show did well in bringing those emotions out of you. But man, they gotta find a way to bring Grogu back. I don't want Grogu out of the show. This show is Grogu and Mando. But there is a post-credit scene, my friend. It starts off really funny because we go to Jabba's palace and Bib Fortuna is ruling over Jabba's palace, and he's gotten fat. He's playing the role well. It's like Christian Bale when he gains weight for a role. Bib Fortuna gained weight to play the leader of this crime syndicate. Fennec comes in, she kills so many people. Boba Fett comes in after her like a badass. He doesn't say a word throughout the scene. Bib is like, oh, I thought you were dead. I heard so many rumors. Boom, he's shot. And then we have this shot of Boba Fett taking him out of the seat, sitting down, and just relax. He's the boss now. He's the godfather. And Fennec sitting by his side, sipping a drink for herself. And they announced the Book of Boba Fett coming in December 2021. So maybe after Mando Season 3. This feels very much like it's going to be a limited series, just this story of Boba Fett. But it very much feels like he's going to be like the godfather in Star Wars. He's going to be the leader of this crime syndicate now in Tatooine. I couldn't be more excited. I love this episode. I don't like that they're taking Grogu away, but I don't like it in a really good way, because it means like they've done this show right, these characters and their relationships right. There are so many great moments. The one thing I will complain, I guess, about this episode is that as it ends, you're not really sure, okay, what's the direction now in season 3? Because in season 1, they perfectly set up, okay, we're going to find the Jedi now. And in this one, it's maybe like, oh, okay, he's going to discuss with Bo-Katan that he's the leader of Mandalore, but he doesn't care for it, so she will be the leader of Mandalore. They're going to fight. That doesn't take a whole season. It feels just odd. Now, ranking the season, I'm still going to put the Jedi in first, then the finale. In third, I will put the premiere, the Marshal, then the tragedy, then the Harris, the Siege, the Believer, and finally, Peyton Reed's previous episode, The Passenger, which I think is the weakest episode of the season, but still a really, really solid episode. This season did not have one bad episode, and it crafted this beautiful thing throughout of progressing your story naturally and organically, while also organically bringing in the larger canon into the fold. I cannot wait for season 3. This season improved every conceivable issue I might have had with season 1. I think the writing has never been better for this show. I think the characters have never been better for this show. And even though they ended very unclear about what is going to happen in season 3, what's the launching point at least, I feel like the possibilities because of that are endless. I'm giving The Mandalorian season 2 an A. And so those are my thoughts not only on the finale, but on the season of The Mandalorian as a whole. What are your thoughts? How much did you geek out throughout this episode, especially in that third act? Because it was amazing. Let me know all of that in the comments below. And thank you so much for joining this journey, my beautiful geekies, each and every week, talking Mandalorian. It will happen again next year. It will happen with a book of Boba Fett and all the other shows just announced on last week's Disney Investors Day. Thank you so much once again. You are the best. Stay tuned for many more reviews to come for movies and TV shows. I hope to see you there. And so until the next video, stay beautiful, stay geeky, but most importantly, above everything else, forever and always, love each other and love the movies.